Bean machine we were talking about. Two-time national junior champion, 2016 national bronze medalist, 2014 world junior bronze medalist, making quite the name for himself. And he actually trains with Canadian Patrick CHEN. And CHEN said watching Nathan land quads all the time in practice has given him the belief that he can do them with ease as well.
Some nice little edge work there, showing a lot of potential for skating skills. But for him, he's how old? 17?
17.
Get to the other end of the rink where my tricks are. Watch this. Oh, man, he's so tight in the air. If you gave him 2 lumps of coal in each hand, by the end of that jump, you'd have 2 diamonds. Shoma Uno from Japan has owned the quad flip this year. Is he going to trespass on that? Quad flip. Bigger than Shoma's. Quad flip, quad lutz. Somebody wake this kid up.
Well, and to our viewers, keep your eye, left-hand screen, the technical score. The L is the leader, the C is the current skater, so you can see how Nathan CHEN is doing.
You said that falling on a quad hurts, Andy. That one actually looked like a tough fall. Usually in the program, that would be a spot for triple axel. He's been having trouble this week. He's not a great training skater. He's actually more consistent in competition. He tried to change that triple axel to quad stab. Didn't work. Ooh. High risk, high reward.
Well, there's a saying, hey, you compete like you practice. I believe that to be able to land all these things that he's trying to do, you got to do them in practice. You can't just turn it on when you want to. But Kurt, I got a question for you. When you first landed your quad, could you think of the day where you'd be sitting in the booth commentating on skating and back-to-back saying, oh, he just landed his quad lutz, oh, he just landed his quad flip?
No, but this new generation of skaters has deciphered that 4-revolution jump. There it is again, little hand down, so his confidence level is not what it was off the top of the program. But now, physically and scientifically, they've deciphered the quad. Proof that the axle isn't working this week. It almost looked like that double axle was on purpose. Maybe he popped the triple into a tube. Truly amazing how much better a program looks when the jumps are being landed, when the flow of the program isn't broken. For the first 45 seconds, he looked senior. Second half of the program, he's looked new and 17 years old.
Well, it's kind of the nature versus nurture conversation. Obviously, his nature is to jump. Yep. He just has to go home now and nurture the rest of this aspect of the skating, the components, the maturity, the sophistication. What he looks like between jumps is actually quite important. And at 17, you don't see it as being important. So it's nature versus nurture to me.
Maybe just because you can do 7 quads doesn't mean you should do 7 quads. But wait, I'm 17. Yes, it does actually mean that. Whew.
That was non-stop. American Nathan CHEN, sitting second after the short program, set a personal best in the short. But he's going to need another personal best here if he wants to take the lead from his fellow countryman, Adam Rippon.
I remind our audience that when you turn a jump, even when you fall, you are still rewarded for the effort. The judges taking a very close look at, beautiful jump, by the way, on the falls, how far Nathan rotated. If he rotated and fell on a triple instead of a quad, that would be a huge cutback on how many points he would gain for that effort. So we'll take a look now. I think this is the sow cow off the back inside edge. Not straight. Looked pretty rotated.
You know, like if I'm a guy competing at Worlds and I've been on the podium and I see Nathan, you know,
like Javier would be?
Yeah, coming back and, you know, just being behind and trying to get on the podium, I wouldn't worry so much right now. Seriously, he can jump, but I wouldn't worry so much because until he figures out what goes between those jumps, he's not really a threat, unfortunately.
He doesn't have the big picture yet, does he?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Well, he needs 174.69 to take the lead from Adam Rippon. They won't do it 171.95, but that will be a personal best for him. So constantly improving, and if you talk about him needing the full package, well, I guess it doesn't hurt that he does train alongside one of the best in Canadian Patrick CHEN. So
right now, backstage, Adam's happy he did that quad.
Yeah?
Needed it.
264.8.